Sorry about that. Some of the electrics just went boop in the house and I had to go and trip everything. Oh, where are we? Firstly, apologies for the green screen. It's because I don't have any curtains still. So the sun just shines in, you wouldn't see anything. Simple as that. We're a bit out of breath because there's 3 stories now to this house. So I have to run all the way down to the bottom store and then all the way back up again. Anyway, hello, all 7 of you. Hello, Ibrahim from earlier. Hello, is that Janine? Jani and Tilla, how are you doing? Hello, Emmy. Hello, Sentry. Hello, Joe Johnson. Hello, Level 2. What was I going to say? Yeah, it is my channel trailer. It's not another one. So there you go. That's true. The mouse is the biggest, heaviest tank ever built. Ever. They never built the rat, even though some people think they did. They never did. Just a drawing board. Anyway, it's that time. No, nobody's on Discord. So, I missed last week's coffee chat mainly because my cat was ill and I had to go to the doctors and all that sort of jazz. So we missed last week. Not much went on though, did it? So So we're jumping into this week instead. Did I have any coffee? No, I'm coffee-less. So without further ado, let's jump into the store and see what's there. It's a new store. So these are the offers that we've got at the moment. Obviously we've got a new battle pass where you'll get a funky dunky tank. Shall we turn this music down? I think we should. As much as it's beautiful and lovely, it's let's turn it down a bit. There we go. Okay, so we've got the battle passes, obviously, the strategic pass and the premium pass, depending on your budget. We then have the sniper and Kanon and Jagdpanzer. Not a bad tank, like tier 8, so it's alright. It comes with, obviously, the tank, mystery boxes, the smiley attachment, the emoji light, there you go. You also get some funky dunky camo, which is the ghost camo. You get an avatar, you get all the equipment, and you get a garage slot. 15,000, however, is not exactly a small amount of money. Not exactly a small amount of money for a tier 8. I mean, it's okay as a tank. It's there are better tier 8 TDs out there, but the other thing you're getting though is this. You're getting 3 mystery boxes, and you can get a premium tank from that. Even though there's a 5% drop chance, you still get the chance. So not a bad idea. It's in the store at the moment. Then we've got the German invasion. Now we had British invasion last week, and the German invasion got Camp 70, Panther 88, Scorpion G, Panzer 58, the German Bulldog, the VK168, the Jagdtiger 8.8, the E75TS, the 2015 Jagdtiger 88, the Louvre, the E25, and the VK90, plus a load of boosters. Now, the drop chance is 10%. But chances are you're going to get the lower tier tanks rather than the upper tier tanks. So it depends on what you're after. Don't count on getting the big tanks. You know, if you're after a particular tank, then you may not get it. Okay, it's a gamble, isn't it? It's at the end of the day. And this game is 15,000 gold, and you know you get 14 opportunities to get this tank. So for the same price as the Canyon, the cannon, you get you only get a couple of boxes there, don't you? You get an entire tank there for 15. You get 14 potential opportunities to get a tank for 15. Your choice. You don't get all the stuff on lock though. To be fair, I mean, but you get a load of other bumps with it. Obviously, there's also the ×3, which is for 3,000. So, I mean, it's okay. Then you've got the reliable Panzer 38H, one of the only tanks that, I believe that's one of the only tanks that has preferential MM. Could be wrong. But it's going for a trifling, what's that, $2? $2, roughly. And again, I mean, it's a low tier. It's, what is it, tier 3? No, tier 2. So it's a low tier tank, but you know, if you're a collector and you haven't got it, then it's worth it for $2. Then we've still got the double impact, which is the WZ112-2 and the T34-3. I mean, both. I mean, I actually like the WZ112-2. I think it's a good tank. I think it's a better tank than the Glacial. Okay, even though it's pretty much the same. This one is it's based on the IS series. You can see it's an IS 3, maybe 5 turret, but the chassis is not the same because it hasn't got the pike nose. I like it. I think it's a nice tank. I mean, the T34-3 again packs one heck of a punch for what it is, and this is 10,500 for 2 tier 8s. That's not bad considering you get, you know, all the. You get, you know, special camos, you get the lovely avatar, all the equipment unlocked, and a shed load of ×5 boosters, and of course 2 garage slots. I mean, that's okay. That's okay. It's not a bad price at all. 10,500 for 2 tanks at tier 8, rather than 1 tank, a TD at tier 8. you're saving 4,000 as well. Which means what you could do, you see, you could buy this, get 2 tanks, or then buy the German invasion for 3,000, get 3 chances to win 3 more tanks, potentially. Plus, you get to save 1,000 gold. And the chances are you're going to get 5 tanks for the price of 1 tank. Up to you, really, because the cannon will come round again. Then we've got the old guard containers. You know, this is for the MS1 event type thing. Hey, Galaxy, how you doing? So, oh, hello, Dejon, how you doing? Hello, Treadhead. So, oh, not the tank biathlon in Russia. It's just, they always invite nations that they can beat. And then we got Fire and Ice talking about the Glacial. And there's the Glacial, it's the 112 Glacial, which is different to the 112-2. You can see the turret's different for one. And then you got the Blaze. I mean, this is going for 7,500. The Blaze is obviously a tier 7 rather than a tier 8. I mean, oh, I pressed the wrong one. Sorry, Goldbot, pressed the wrong button there. You know, I was meant to show you a message, not delete it. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the Glacial. It's okay, but the 121-2 I think is a better tank. But it's up to you guys. So that's what's in the offers. And then we move down to resources. It's the usual stuff: untold riches, high potential, blah 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 blah. Bargain of the century, favourable terms, all this sort of jack. Normal stuff. Then we go down to the Tankies. Well, they're pretty much what you've just seen, but this time you can get the Kanonen Jagdpanzer there without the equipment, without the special avatars and everything, with any of that, and it's 12,500, so a bit different. Obviously that one's still the same. This double here, double impact, well, you can get the 112-2 for 7,500, and the T-34-3 for 5,500. So obviously getting both of them together is a lot cheaper, but you can get them here. Now, this one, the 112-2, doesn't have the equipment unlocked. That is going to cost you credits. This one does have the equipment unlocked, so it's going to save you credits, and they're both tier 8. And then, of course, we've got the double there, Fire and Ice, and then Ice Dragon and Fire Dragon, so you can get them individually there. And that's going to cost you 8,500, so if you get them bold here, you can poof. Anyway, then we've got gold, as you can see, normal stuff, gold, gold, gold. And then we got premium account, normal stuff, premium account. And then we got the containers, you know, let's see, because, oh yeah, boosters, and more boosters maybe, boosters and light bulb avatar, there you go. And that's what's now in the new store, and you can tell already that there is no longer a tab showing the Tech Tree premium tanks, which is what we're going to talk about first. So, they used to be, when you went into the store, it used to be set out differently, and these used to be at the top, and they had a tank tab, and you could go in there and it would show you all the Tech Tree premiums that you could have bought. Now you can't do that, it's no longer in the store. But at the moment, they are still in the Tech Tree. They're here, look, there you go. All of them in the Tech Tree. With 8.3, these are going to go. They're going to vanish. They're gone. Okay? So this area of your Tech Tree, with the exception of Dicamax for the German line here, all these are going to go. You're not going to be able to get them. Because basically, if they're not in the store, you can click on them in the Tech Tree and you can buy them that way. Okay? What they're planning to do, they're not planning to get rid of the tanks out of the game, like you'll never get them again. They're just going to remove them from the Tech Tree and put them in the store, with the exception of 3 tanks, and those 3 tanks are the Dicamax, the Tier 6 TD, the T23E3, the Tier 7 medium, and the IS6, the Tier 8 heavy. So there's a TD, a medium, and a heavy, and that is all. That's the only 3 that are going to be left. That's it. All the rest are going, but they're not being removed from the game. Okay, I have to emphasize this. I've just done a video on this. They're not being removed from the game. They will come back into the store periodically. Now, what Wargame have been doing, and you may have noticed this recently, they've been sticking the Tech Tree tanks like the IS6 and the Louvre, etc., etc., and the TOG and the SU-100Y. they've stuck them into the store on occasion, and they've given you a better deal than what you would have had to pay from the special tab that they had. So, for example, the Louvre used to cost about 7,500, and so did the IS6. They've recently sold, and it came with no equipment and just the tank and the garage slot, no equipment, nothing. And they recently sold them in the store with, you know, they had the camos, the legendary camos, they had avatars, they had all the equipment on lock in boosters and premium account for about 5,000. So, you know, you had a lot less money knocked off. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I know a lot of fuss has been made over this, but hey, Milos, I don't see what's actually wrong with this realistically. It's not like you're not going to be able to get these tanks ever again. You will get them. It's just that they won't be open and easily accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's as simple as that. The other thing you have to remember is this is a throw over from the days when the game first came out. So when the game first came out, those of us who were playing way back in 2014, we didn't have premium tanks hitting the store every 5 seconds. You know, the only premium tanks you could buy were in the tech tree, and there weren't that many of them. I mean, the IS6 was there, Lu was there, the AT-15A was there, and the SU-100Y and the Dicker Max. Tanks like that were there, but the SU-12244 wasn't. Churchill 3, Matilda 4, they weren't there. I think the SU-85 was. On the German line, these two tanks, the T-25 and the Panzer 5.4 wasn't there. Dicker Max was, Panther M10 was, Jagdtiger 88 eventually came in, and the Louvre was. In the British line, all we had in the British line was the AT-15A, and in the American line, we didn't have anything. We had I think we had the T-34, and that was it. No, we had the T-26E4, and that was it. So over time, they brought more in. And what went from like 3 or 4 premium tanks ended up being 21 Tech Tree premium tanks. Now, the game has moved on since then, okay, and most of these tanks are now, I wouldn't say obsolete. I mean, the T-34 is certainly not obsolete. But a lot of these tanks now have been paracrept. Being honest with you, they've totally been paracrept. I mean, if you look at the German, apart from the Jag 88, I mean, the Louvre is a shadow of its former self. The Panther M10 is nothing really to write home about. The Dicker Max is, wow, it used to be horrendous, still not the best. These two are pretty, not horrid, but eh. I mean, the Churchill and the Matilda aren't as good as the British versions. The SU-85I, wow, good luck with that. The SU-100Y, well, everybody knows what that's like. The SU-12244 is not great, especially when you've got the SU-152. And the IS-6, well, the IS-6 and the IS-6. And in the British line, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Matilda BP is great. The TOG 2, I mean, if you haven't got a TOG 2, then there's something wrong with you. The AT-15 is pretty cool as well. But, you know, it's not, I don't think, most of them have been sort of power crept, and they're not fantastic tanks. And then when you look at some of the other premiums, I mean, let's have a look at Tier 7. So here we go, Tier 7, just look at the premiums. And let's see what we've got. I mean, this one's staying, the T-23E3. That's the M6, well, it's not great. That's a great tank, the T-28. I mean, look at this. You got the Annihilator, the T-26 Eagle, you got the Kunzerpanzer, and the Tankenstein, the 45. I mean, look how many premiums there are. Forget that one, that's a test. T-4485, the Rudy, great tank, IS-2, ISU-22. I mean, there's so many tanks now that removing these from the tech tree isn't going to cause major issues. I don't think they are. So I don't know what all the fuss is about. So look, instead of it's Galaxy saying instead of removing them from the tech tree, they could update it with new vehicles. That I don't disagree with. They could update it with new vehicles. Bitter Blossom, they're removing them from the tech tree, basically. So, as I was trying to explain, the tech tree premiums are available 24/7. Okay, what they're going to do, they're just going to remove that. So, after update 8.3, the Panzer V, the Panzer V-4, the T-25, the Panther M10, the Luva and the Jag Tiger will no longer be in this tech tree. Only the Dicker Max. That's it. So you can buy the Dicker Max as many as you want. Yeah, exactly. They're basically saying that nobody's really using these. So what's the point? We'll stick them in the store, and instead of having them available 24/7, we'll do it that way. And then when you look at the store, as I said earlier, you go down to the tanks. And it's not like, you know, if you're so eager to rush the tiers, it's not like anything's changing. You can still get a tier 8 for 5,500, which is no different to what you're getting in the tech tree, and it's still going to be there. It's still going to be there. It's not going to be a big, Yagi Tiger. It's not going to be anything massively traumatic, I'm telling you. So just wanted to get that out there, over and done with, over the way. Boof, because I know there's been a lot of stuff going on about it. Everybody's saying you're not going to be able to get them anymore. They're being removed from the game. All the premiums are going. They're not. They're not going. Okay? It's just that they won't be available 24/7 anymore. They'll just be available when they hit the store. That's all. It's just giving wargaming. I mean, as I said, if you want them to stay, then fine. Then wargaming are going to fleece you, okay? Because the ones that used to be in the tech tree actually cost more than what they stick them into the store. As I said earlier, it's completely different. So, do you reckon they'll come back buffed? No, because they're premium. They're still premium tanks. People have still bought them. And they could always buff a premium tank. They'll never nerf them. The problem with buffing them is if they buff them and they get it wrong, then they've got to nerf it, and that's like, ooh, it's a premium tank. So, not always a good idea. Anyway, so what else has been going on? Let's see if I can get any replays going on here. Oh, I've got some replays. Let's have a look at, where did we start at? Let's have a look at this, T95 E2. Tekio Taku, Unnagle Frontier. What else is there? So we got autumn season coming on soon. Hello, Ultimate Bait. Autumn season coming soon. It's not that far away. Again, there's been a lot of stuff about this. In fact, Galaxy has just raised the issue. What is my opinion on Wargaming's tournament schedule for autumn? I think it's a bit too much. Well, when it first came out, it was incredibly traumatic, but they have changed it. It has been changed, is my understanding. So, as far as I'm aware, they've actually brought it back down. They've changed it drastically, and whilst it's still pretty hardcore, it's not as hardcore as it was. So I need to check all the changes, but it is pretty hardcore. And my concern is that, the pro clans are still going to do it. Okay, let's be honest. My concern is not the pro clans, it's the other clans that come in. Okay, we need the lower echelon and the middle echelon clans to make a showing, because we need that competitive edge. And not being funny, the lower echelon whilst they're today's lower echelon, they're tomorrow's challengers. The middle echelon, whilst they're today's challengers, could be tomorrow's pros. And this is always the issue that I've got. It's not my replay, Emmy, so I haven't put that on there, mate. So that's the thing. So my concern is when it's so hardcore, and it's less hardcore than what it was, but when it's so hardcore, it puts those, I don't like to use the term lesser clan. I'd rather use the term, those challenging clans. It's the clans, trying to get either new to clan wars or they want to sort of challenge and get more experience, etc. It puts them off. I'm not a big fan of that. That's the thing. I think it depends. I initially said also, with such a heavy schedule, then they need to sort of make the prize fund for, it's not going to be the Twister offlines, because obviously we've still got the COVID issue. So it's going to be a Blitz Cuppa game, which is online and regional. But they need to sort of make the prize fund a bit more. Yeah, the up and comers, Dejan. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. So I wish Wargame would do more realistic camos. I got one person being stupid about me not using a camo on a tank, but I don't use camos on a lot of tanks because they don't look good. Also, I knew it wasn't. There's a lot of people like that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of all the funky dunky camos, to be perfectly honest with you. I love, not all of them, I'll be honest with you. I don't love all the legendary camos. I think some of them are pretty hideous, like the WZ121B. I mean, a gold tank, not really for me. But I do like the legendary camos. I certainly like the one on the Jaegeru. I think that's fantastic. And the Tiger too, I also think that's fantastic. I mean, there's some really good camos out there. But Wargaming are getting better with their legendary camos. They're moving away from the gimmicky camos for legendary. That's a great shot, by the way. They're moving away from the gimmicky camos and bringing some really good ones in. And I like the Object 263 Wolf, or whatever it's called. I mean, that's a great camo. And I think they're cool. Yeah, I must admit, Ultimate Bay, a lot of people misunderstand the camo value, but for most of the camos, unless you spend, use the decent ones, it's only 2%. And people look at that and think, well, what's 2%? In the grand scheme of things, I mean, on a Death Star, what's 2%? The Death Star's got a crap camo profile anyway. Another 2% ain't gonna help, to be honest. So not only that, I mean, when Wargaming rolled into the new update 5.5 arena, and they didn't allow newer players to get access to the camos. I mean, that's just daft. Because if you're a new player and you don't get camos until tier 5, and you go around and you've got your 60% win rate because you've been playing bots without camo, why do you need a camo? Clearly you don't. It doesn't do anything, doesn't add anything, it just costs you credits or gold. So why bother? And that's one of the problems that you've got with that. And I think it's always been a stupid decision. Let people, wargaming sometimes it makes me scratch my head, because people like to customize their tanks. They do. So let them buy camos, even at tier 1. Why not? There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there is. I don't think there is at all. But I don't work for them, so not for me to say. What else was there? Yeah, going back to that Galaxy, you're right. It can raise issues for those who are busy with real life stuff. I mean, look, let's be honest with you. Majority of the pro players are either coming to the end of school or moving into the college, university areas. And it's not like us old farts who have got day jobs that start at 9 and finish at 5 or whatever. So their evenings are free. I mean, if you're at university, college, or in the final years of school, then your evenings are filled with research, and so that's a great replay. Your evenings are filled with reading, researching, reading, and doing essays and stuff. Even so, and it becomes a question of, well, what's my life priority? Is it playing the pixelated Tonk game, or is it doing my studies? And that's the thing, So, I mean, when it's okay for people like me who sort of work from home, then yeah, it's pretty easy, eh? Pretty easy for me to handle that, but no. That's true, Ultimate Bait. The Battle Pass does bring camos, and they are rather good gold dart. Yeah, that is true. Well, you see, Amy, what I try to do with my camos, I try to use camos that are relatively realistic. So there are some of the standard camos, especially in the German lines that are relatively realistic. There's the three-tone camo, which is the olive green, the red brown, and the it's a dark yellow. Those aren't the real names, obviously. I mean, in German, it's Rotbrunn, Dunkelgelb, and I can't remember the other one. I can't remember it. So yeah, I mean, there are some decent, realistic-looking camos, and I tried to match the camo to the terrain. That's just one of my quirks, though. I mean, okay, I've got a couple of tanks where I've got stupid things like my Tog has got the cat camo, and I think my E3 or E4, one of the two, has got pink camo because I don't like the tank. But majority of my tanks, I try to sort of be kind of realistic-ish. Although my Yo, because it's clearly not a realistic tank, I've stuck that purple and white camo on it. And why not? I mean, it's not a real tank in real life, didn't exist. So, damn it all to hell. So there we go. Well, I mean, the FV4005 camo. I know, mainly for the tier 10s, I use the. Saying here, Treadhead. For the tier 10s, I generally use the harder to get camos. So, and I don't mind sort of using the camo certificates on those, to be perfectly honest. I haven't seen the camos that they're looking for in 8.3. I've seen some of the legendary camos that they're going to do, which don't seem too bad, I'll be honest with you. I mean, the legendary camos look okay. And I don't mind that. I mean, talking about legendary camos, I said this on the stream, I think it was yesterday. There was a big hoo-ha over the legendary camo for the Low, or the Löwe, basically German for lion. I'm not German, so I'm not very good at speaking the language. Which was the two grenades, okay? Two cross grenades. And a lot of people, in fact, a video went out by a much more famous and more successful YouTuber than me saying it was cancel culture. And a lot of people have commented about this. Well, as I said on my stream yesterday, it's not cancel culture, number one. And secondly, it shouldn't have ever come into the game. And it was just a mistake on Wargaming's part. And why is it not cancel culture? Well, the two they're crossed like this. The two hand grenades cross like this, okay? And they belonged to the 36th Waffen Grenadier Division. And it was called the 36th Waffen Panzer Grenadier Division. Now, because it's got the word Panzer in it, a lot of people think that, they had tanks. Well, that unit never had a single tank, not once. Not once. It was a notorious unit, even for German standards, in World War II. That's a great replay by a good friend of mine there. Basically, the unit was run by a guy called Oscar Derlewanger. Now, I did a video on this division, long time back, okay, on the Derlewanger division. Now, Oscar Derlewanger was a paedophile and not a very nice man. And his unit was filled with criminals, and not guys who just stole a couple of sausages from the local sort of beer house. We're talking, murderers, rapists, and, the real scum of society. And that's what his unit was filled of. And they came to notoriety in the Warsaw Uprising, okay, where they were joined by another unit, which was it was sort of commanded by the Germans, but it wasn't a German army unit, and it was called the Kaminsky Brigade, okay, and these were equally horrible people. And what they did, they absolutely rampaged through what they call the Wola district of Warsaw, and they annihilated like thousands of people in the space of a weekend. And it's a bit of a sore point for the Poles. So it's a notorious unit, number one, with little to zero military value, absolutely no military discipline, okay, to the point where even the SS hated that unit. And their divisional insignia were 2 crossed grenades. So, and they never had tanks. So, you know, there's literally hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, there are literally hundreds of divisional insignia that they could have used. I mean, they could have used a German helmet, yeah, an outline of a German helmet, and that belongs to the Großdeutschland division, which was Wehrmacht, and it was still an elite division. Or they could have used, there's one with a bear holding on to something, that's like, I believe that's the flag of Berlin or something, but they had a bear. And that was the 501st Abteilung Panzer Division. So they could have used any numerous ones. So it's not cancel culture, and it's not because you're not allowed to portray German insignia, because that's not true. You are. The only thing you can't portray is Nazi symbolism. So the German cross, you know, the cross, the black cross with the white lines, that's called the Hakenkreuz. Again, apologies for my German, but that's not illegal. The swastika is illegal in Germany and quite a few other countries, but the Hakenkreuz is not illegal at all. Far from it, to be honest with you. So there's no harm in them sticking German crosses, Hakenkreuz, on any of the German tanks. They've done it with the Tiger and they've done it with the Jägeru. They could have stuck it on the Löwe or any German tank, to be honest with you. It wouldn't have made a difference. Just, you know, you can't go around sticking death's heads on it from the Totenkopf division or the, you know, certain infamous divisions. You know, you can't do that. You can't go putting SS rooms. You could probably use some of the stuff. I mean, maybe you could use the key. That was for the Liebstandard. Or double keys, which for the Hitlerjungen. Or there was one which was just basically like an inverted U, looked like that. That was for the 2nd Panzer Division, Das Reich. So they could use umpteen different ones. Just avoid the ones that are really, really mean, like Der Levanger. It would have been fine. Anyway. So there you go. Anyway, this is the 121. Yeah, that is. Well, they shouldn't have brought it out to begin with, to be fair, Galaxy. Especially when there are so many other divisional signs they could have used. They should not have done it. And I don't know if it was an error or a mistake. That is very true, Ultimate Bot, it is. But not when it's turned, apparently. So when the swastika's face on, then yes, it's a religious symbol. When it's backwards, it's a religious symbol. When it's not face on, when it's not backwards, and it's tilted that way, actually, then it becomes a Nazi symbol. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, but well, you know, they just shouldn't have. They should have avoided certain things. That's because don't forget there are laws in many countries about glorification, and the thing about the SS is that at the end of the war they were outlawed. So well, yeah, if you go to many parts of Asia, there's what you would call swastikas all over the place. So, but they're not swastikas, not Nazi swastikas. They're just swastikas. But it's actually a simpler piece in a lot of cultures. Yeah, it happens. But apart from that, what else is going on in the game? Well, of course, there's a Mad Games tournament. I was meant to stream it last night, but the team I was following was a no-show, so that was like, really didn't happen, did it? That was like, nothing's going down here. But we're probably doing it again tonight, and hopefully that if I get a team, hopefully they're not going to be a no-show, and hopefully we can roll out and actually see some Mad Games tournaments. What else has been happening? Well, you know, we've obviously living past 8.2 update now, where people should now be getting used to the map, the Ghost Factory, which is, I like it. I think it's a nice map. I think it's a good map. And, you know, there's hopefully the AE Phase 1 issue has died down a little bit, because I don't know why that was such a big issue, to be honest with you, but it was a big issue because we made it a big issue. You know, it's not like there aren't other tanks in the tech tree that you can get your paws on for nothing. I mean, the M103 is not a bad tank at all. It does pretty much what the AE Phase 1 does, so... First strike was Bismarck. So... because it was Bismarck who brought them together. He brought Germany together. Prior to that, it was basically a lot of principalities like Saxony, Prussia, blah blah blah. So I think the first Reich, or whatever they say, the first whatever, was probably looking at Bismarck, and then Wilhelm. And then, unfortunately, but then there's a gap, because obviously you have the Wehrmacht period. The Wehrmacht period is when, obviously, the Kaiser abdicated. Not to worry. That's a great game, Ominous. There you go. That's what the WZ112-2 can do. Not bad, eh? It's not bad at all. Let's have a look at St. Geordie. So let's have a look at what's going on YouTube. So no, I'm with you, Galaxy. I think that's what I want to talk about. The clan challenge is looking very good, actually. And you get a chance to win a pretty decent tank as well, which is the 50 TP Proto. I mean, it's a nice tank. Tested it. It's looking pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it's always good that they do these clan events. I don't think I've still got the avatar. I don't think I've got the avatar for the Aces event. But hey, well, the camo. I can't remember. Do I prefer this or the 252U? Oh, I'm not a big fan of the 252U. Is the honest answer. It's okay, but. I must admit, I mean, I'm a fan of, I like the 112-2, but I don't play tier 8 that much. Not really, not unless I'm doing content. And if I was going, I mean, I like the Action X in tier 8. I know it hasn't got the punch of some of the other tanks, but, you know, and I like the T-34 and stuff like that. Bringing memories of GCSE history. Yeah, sorry about that. It generally happens. I need to check. I don't know if I got the avatar. I'll check after this game. Maybe I mean, should have an avatar. I don't know. I never check my avatars, to be fair. I have no idea what avatars I have and what avatars I don't have. I'm pretty poor when it comes to sort of the aesthetics of the game. You know, I like the realistic look at the tanks, and I like all that sort of stuff. Yeah, well, no, because the T-34 Independence is a specific tank to commemorate Independence Day for the Americans, obviously, and therefore it's like the Mark 6 is the camo in the Mark 6 being a Union Jack, or even on the whatever it's called, on one of the British tanks, the A45. Having those Union Jack camos, it's got nothing to do with the camo rating, it's got to do with patriotism. You know, I'm English, and I couldn't wait to put that Union Jack camo on my Mark 6, and no doubt if I was an American, I would stick the Stars and Stripes, or all those sort of American-esque camos for the HTC, etc., on my tanks as well. Just the way it is. Well, they're pretty miffed that the becomes out of Stars and Stripes that you can stick on most tanks, but there's no Union Jack that can plaster on my Tiger 2, for example. It's a bit harsh. Yeah, that's true. But the idea is to obviously entice the patriots to buy the tank, which I don't see anything bad in at all. You know, if I was American, then I would be looking to get that tank. To be honest, yeah, exactly. There you go, the Swedish camo for the crown. You know, this is the thing. I mean, if I was from Sweden, I'd be looking to get that. So that's. You know, people are very proud of where they're coming from. So no, you can't blame them for that. And you shouldn't lower the camo profile just because it's a garish camo. I mean, the Mark 6 Union Jack is pretty garish, but hey, not gonna lower it. But I mean, I like those sort of things, to be honest with you, because it's nice to see that people are proud of their countries and where they're from. Yeah, that's fair enough, Emmy. I mean, we're all different, but this is the thing: we're given the choice. That's the thing, you know. Well, except for the T-34 Independence, you're not given a choice. It comes in that camo, love it or loathe it. Whereas the T-34, same tank, then you can change the camos around. It's up to you. Same tank. But 9 times out of 10, like you know, with the Kranwagen, with the Mark 6, with those tanks that come with patriotic camos. You don't have to use them, to be honest with you. And that's what I like. You know, we're given a choice realistically. Nothing wrong with having a choice. Not in my book, anyway. I think it's great that we're given a choice. This is a tank that would be interesting. I mean, it's actually an Egyptian tank. There should be a Canadian camo for the Ram too. I totally agree with you, Straight Pipe. I don't disagree with you there at all. Have you actually seen? You know, there is a Ram 2, I believe, in Bovington. It's just olive drab. That's all it is, olive drab. So, but I think it is in Canada. I think it is in Bovington. But this is an Egyptian tank, the FL-10. It's basically a Sherman married to an AMX turret, or an AMX turret married to a Sherman. So, it'd be interesting. And obviously the traditional camo for this tank is desert yellow. It wouldn't go down well, would it? Great game. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my avatars. I've got 117 of the bloody things. But I'm pretty sure I didn't get special. I've got 5 specials. Oh, I did! Oh no. That's not me. I still haven't got that bloody avatar. I need to find out if I've got it or not. That's the say cheese. Maybe it's a premium one. I don't know. Don't think so. I need to ask the clan. Let's. These are just mine, you see. It's not cumulative, so I don't know. Maybe it was this one then. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. That's the Asia one. It's Asia. Say cheese. Rare. Epic. Why have I got legendary then? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how it works. It's all crazy stuff. It's all craziness to me. It's like putting me in a round room and asking me to sit in the corner. I get lost. What to do? So look what. It was that. Is it? Is that it? Oh, there you go then. So that's the Ace avatar, is it? Okay, cool. Getting a fresh stock tank with 50% cruise stock parts, you will surely lose most of the time and pull down your win rate. Come on. Or don't even change the stats. Well, the stats... playing stock tanks is not the easiest. It was indeed, Galaxy. We were number 1 for the Ace Challenge. We came first. Yes, we did. Playing stock tanks is never easy. However, believe me on this. Whilst it's painful and whilst it's not easy, I don't agree that it necessarily drops your win rate. There's a reason I say that. Admittedly, I haven't played on Asia for a while because personal circumstances have prevented me recently since I moved. But when I was playing on Asia, I was completely free to play, okay? And I was grinding the tournament lines, like the I was recently grinded, the last tank I grinded was the E5, prior to that was the IS-4, etc, etc. And I made a point of showing you me playing them stock, fully stock, by the way. So they were fully stock. Now, it is doable. It's a pain, don't get me wrong. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. The only thing I would say is 50% crew. Ooh, that's harsh. 75% at a push. I would always recommend, if you're going to spend anything, spend it on your crew, guys. Drop the 75% on the crew skills, because crew skills are really important. Yeah, as Emmy says, at least get 75%, because going out with 50% crew in a purely stock tank is incredibly painful. It's not good. So I normally get 75% crew skills and then I roll out in that. Rafe, I'm not playing at the moment. This is a coffee chat, so I'm waiting for you guys to sort of tell me your troubles and your woes about lots of different things. What's this? I don't know what that is. Somebody sent me something, but I don't know what it is. So, no, I don't play. Obviously, I don't play 100% stock tanks. Not when I've got almost every tank in the game. There's obviously a few that I don't have, but not most of them. There are a few tanks like, obviously, I'm not even touching T10s with 100% crew, fully equipped. I don't blame you, Galaxy. That was probably one of the hardest. To be fair, I mean, rolling out in the Object 140 and rolling out in the E5 and rolling out in the IS-4 without 100% crew was pretty difficult. So yeah. So obviously, what I used to do, I used to grind. I used to try and do as much as I could so I could use the actual XP that I got in the tank rather than using free XP. And I would only use free XP when necessary. I mean, there are some tanks that are just horrible, like the ST1. I mean, I played that stock for about 10 games and then just said, bugger it, no, I absolutely need to upgrade the engine. Oh, hello, Belief. Thank you. Hello. So, yeah, like I said, I've been doing it. I was doing it on Asia up until like a month and a half ago, but then I had to stop because the situation's changed. But I'll be getting back to Asia after autumn season. It's just at the wrong time of the day at the moment because it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me is when a lot of business is now taking place. So it's yeah. What is a stock tank? Absolutely correct, Microforce. What is a stock tank? I have no idea. That's a great battle there by Wildman's Helper. He's going to be streaming tonight with Amunet. It's Shadow Strike next. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Sentry, he's joking. Trust me, he knows what a stock tank is. But yeah, I mean, it's the stock. Going out of stock is not the best. It's not the worst. Seriously, trust me, guys. If you can play a tank stock, okay, make sure you got the 75% crew. But if you can play the tank stock, at least play it for a couple of games, okay, then believe me, you'll get better. Okay, you will get better. So, and it's not just that. I mean, the whole idea of the lines in the tank tree. Don't forget, it's a free-to-play game. Okay, so wargaming don't expect you to play it for free. Nobody expects you to get anything for free. So they expect you to drop some cash somewhere, either to get gold or the XP or the credits or whatever. They expect that, which is why they make the grind so traumatic. Okay, to annoy you, to get you to drop your cash. But if you can resist that temptation to use the free XP and just use bits and bits of free XP to get the modules, and then once you've got all the top modules, then just grind the tank until you've got all the XP on that tank to get the next line, you'll be a much better player, seriously. And rolling into the next line won't be as traumatic as you think. So, for example, take the American line. When you're playing the tank before the E5, it can be a traumatic tank. I'll be honest with you. It can be a pain in the backside. But once you get used to it, and it takes about 100 games roughly. Okay, it takes about 100 games per tank to get to the next tank. And if you can do that, then you'll be a much better player. When it came to me on Asia, I'll be honest, I didn't grind anything from tier 1 to tier 6. Not really. Okay, I played a couple of games in the tier 5 tanks, and then I free XP'd the whole bottom tiers. Okay, but then I grinded tier 6. I grinded from tier 6 all the way to tier 10. So I'd play all fully without free XP, tier 6, tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10. And much easier that way, I find. And you do, oddly enough, become a better player. You may not think it, but you do. Well, I think you do anyway. And it gets you more used to the tanks. And this is what I'm saying. I mean, don't forget, the game is meant to be about progression. Okay, it's meant to be about breaking you in gently. There's no point. It's like I was trying to give the analogy the other day. I'm going to go to medical school because I want to be a surgeon. I want to be a brain surgeon, in fact. So off I trot to medical school. I do the first week at medical school, and then I say, fine, I'm ready to do absolute neurosurgery right now. Let's go for it. It's never going to work, is it? Nobody is going to let me lop somebody's head open and tinker with their brain inside. Yet, in Blitz, we think that's perfectly fine and dandy. Yes, I've played my little tier 1 and tier 2 for the last 4 hours. I'm going to jump into tier 10. Of course I can. No, you can't, because you're clueless. And the idea of the game is to teach you over the tiers. But people just want to rush, and why not? I mean, they've thrown the tools. They're given the tools. They're given the boosters. They're given all the credit boosters, XP boosters, ×5 boosters, this booster, that booster. You name it, it's thrown at them. And then, you know, if you give people the tools to get these big tanks, then they're going to get the big tanks. It's as simple as that. And then everybody's complaining. Everybody's complaining. It's like, oh my god, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. What's he doing in a tier 10? You know why. It's just craziness, eh? It's just the way it is. I think you're right there, Deshaun. I think it is a brilliant opportunity to learn. And it does. I personally believe it makes you a better player, but hey, it's just me. There's nothing wrong with being free to play. And this is the other thing, I mean, you have to appreciate that you can seriously play this game without dropping a single penny. It ain't going to be easy, but you can do it. That's the thing, Dejan. If you know, the reason we get the MM that we get is because we tier rush. And, you know, if you want a tier rush, then fine, so be it. But tier rushing leads to a few things. First, it leads to you doing monkey moves and playing like a potato in that tier, which leads to your team becoming toxic, and it leads to your team getting upset and frustrated and peeved at you, and then they shout at you, and then they send you nasty messages, and then that happens, and it also leads to you never improving. Your win rate will stay low. You will never learn because you're not prepared to learn. You just want to rush. And, you know, it's like I mean, I was going to use a Star Wars analogy, but it wouldn't work nowadays. I was going to say it's like, you know, you're Luke Skywalker in A New Hope, and straight away you want to get into the Emperor's throne room at the Return of the Jedi and destroy Vader. That doesn't work anymore because Rey would, because she's a Mary Sue. So, you know, Rey within the first second would be able to destroy everybody, because that's how it works, eh? So it's a bad analogy now, Star Wars. I find the opposite actually, Micro. I find dropping down to tier 9 actually a more pleasurable experience than playing tier 10, because I find there's more potatoes looking to get mashed around in tier 10 than there are in tier 9, oddly enough. So I find tier 9 probably the most consistent tier. I think tier 8 is always... I've never liked tier 8. It's a tier, if I can avoid it. Because I just don't like tier 8. It's just premium fest. Every man and his dog has got a premium tank, and it's just a pain in the backside, so I avoid it where I can. Tier 10 recently, well, everybody's just rushing the tiers and rolling out in tier 10s, which, okay, fair enough, you get to do what you want to do. And tier 9, firstly, has the least premiums of all the tiers, the high tiers that is. I mean, there's only, 3? There's the AMX 30, no, not AMX 30, what is it? You've got the T55A, that's number 1. We've got the Camp 70, we've got the K91, and the Proto, AMX Proto, and that's about it, isn't it? I think that's it. Pretty sure that's only 4. It's a 4 or 5. I can't remember how many premiums are on now. Tier 9. I think it's 4. I'll check after this game because I've forgotten. I know you got the Camp 70. We've got the K91. We've got the T55A. Pretty sure the AMX Proto. Yeah, 31 Proto. That's there. That's true, Galaxy. There are more premiums in tier 8 than Tech Tree tanks. It's scary business, man. But yeah, I think there's 4 I think it's only 4 tier 9. Let's find out. Oh no, because the AE Phase 1 is now there, so that makes another one. Oh no, that's a collector, not a premium, so that doesn't count. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame. K91, yeah, the 50 TP is not out yet, Ultimate Update. The A Phase 1 is a collector. The Cap 70, the T55, the K91 and the AMX, they're all premiums, I believe, not collectors. I think there are 2 collectors. That's the 50 Proto and the A. But the 50 Proto is not out yet, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, it's still of all the top tiers, it's still got the least premium tanks, which is ironic because you would have thought that would have more premium tanks than tier 10, whereas tier 10 they've got premiums and collectors. I mean, they've got quite a few now in tier 10 up there. Oh, the AMX a collector as well, is it? Okay. Oh, I'll have to check. Although Galaxy's taking his sweet time in this game. Because he's on long reloads in this Sheridan. But they will see. So did you all catch the MS1 Wargaming tournament stream thingy the other day with all the YouTubers? Did you enjoy that? Did you like that? I thought it was interesting. I thought, they needed to sort of put a rocket up some backsides to get it, to not be such of a camp fest. And I'm going to have words with some of those people. No problem, Microforce. Catch you later, mate. Thanks for popping by. But hey, it was different, wasn't it? It was different. But the tournament was fun, I thought, with the devs and the YouTubers. Hey, Ibrahim. There was no premium tanks in what PC? Oh, really? Oh, I never played it. We may have seen this replay. As you can tell, I may have. What they did a micro patch, and I never knew this. They did a micro patch, and they ruined all my replays. And I had a great replay in an FV in a Death Star on Desert Sands. On Oasis Palms. It was a great replay, fantastic replay. But they did a micro patch, and I lost it. It's really pissed me off. But what can you do, eh? Not much you can do about it. But these things happen. And I wish they would have told me they were doing a micro patch. Give us a bit of notice. Oh, there's a micro patch coming. You need to save your replays. Ouch! But it's a defeat. But the little golden M is still there. There you go. So let's have a look. Premium 9. There you go. 55, the AMX, K91, and the 70. Those are the only premiums. Those are the only premiums. And then if we click that onto tier 10, then those are the only premiums in tier 10. The M60, Chieftain, 121B. That's not come out. Don't you have to discount that because that is a test tank. So there's only 3 premiums in tier 10. Most of them are collectors, as you can see. So there you go. And then tier 9, discount that because that's just testing as well. There you go. There you go. So Jordy, how you doing, mate? You caught Droodles fielding a missile tank. Yeah. Well, they always are, Ibrahim. I get nobody screaming and shouting. Nobody screams and shouts, which is nice. I'm not showing any other replays other than these. But the reason being is because I'm doing a stream tonight. Agile Hippo, where have you been? Oh, although being Finnish, you probably went up north into the wilds because it's the summertime, and that you probably just escaped from it all, being from that part of the world. Because I hear that's what a lot of you do up there. That's been a while indeed, my friend. Came across some of your some of you crazy people the other day in a game. It was good fun, actually. I can't remember which players they were because they're all from the north, or is it from the north or just from north? I think it's just from north. But yeah, good fun, man. Where have you been anyway? Oof. I'm still jealous that your neighbour. Do I like Mad Games? No. Just pointing out, Agile Hippo's neighbour has got like a charioteer in his garden. Can you believe that? A proper charioteer tank in his garden. Craziness. Absolutely, yeah, craziness. Did I catch up with the war gambling apology? I because I don't play WoWs, I've sort of seen a few bits and bobs, but it's not because they're 2 separate divisions. Blitz, you see, what PC? World of Tanks Blitz, and World of Warships and World of Warships. I don't know about Warships Blitz, but I do know World of Tanks Blitz are 2 separate divisions, and World of Warships is completely separate as well. So we don't get the same spillover, to be honest with you. So I haven't really caught up with what's been going on with World of Warships. Do I like Mad Games? No, is the honest answer. I'm not a big fan of Mad Games. Don't get me wrong, I love Skirmish. I think Skirmish is great. I like Uprising, I like Burning Games, and I like Realistic. I'm not a big fan. I mean, Gravity is just shits and giggles, But I've never been a big fan of bad games, to be honest with you. Well, I'm glad that that has that effect on you, Ibrahim. That's good to know, man. Oh, I'd love to get an RC tank. I always wanted the Tamiya RC 1/16th Tiger 2. But they've also got a Tiger 1 that has the realistic sort of moving and stuff. No, it wasn't World of Warships Blitz, it was actually World of Warships PC. I'm with you on that one, Imi. I think Mad Games is a worse Uprising. So. Oh, well, that's not a bad thing. I mean, my understanding is that they started putting things into containers that used to be able to get without using containers. And that's what pushed some people over the edge. Blitz have never really done that. That's not to say they wouldn't consider it. But they've never really done that. They've put things into containers that are, run-of-the-mill stuff, premium tanks, stuff like that. So it's like we go back to the AE Phase 1. And I said in a recent video, don't believe the hype. Look, just because I do YouTube doesn't make me any smarter than you, doesn't make me any better than you, and I would never insult your intelligence by telling you what you can already find out yourself, which is that the drop rate is 0.05%. I mean, you're not that stupid that you need someone like me to tell you that the odds are against you, to be fair. Not on that tank. On the other tanks, I'll just say to you what the price is. Because there are people out there who don't realise the price. They think, oh, 24 charms, that's okay, I can do that, blah, blah. But with things like the AE, I mean, I didn't see the point of that. And I'm not going to insult anybody's intelligence by thinking they're so dim enough that they can't understand that. It's just not the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get it now. I mean, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, and I'll show you. There it is. The AE Phase 1, still there. Still there. And, descriptions, notes here. And the drop rate is still 0.05%. They haven't changed anything. Okay, simple as that. And these are 1%, so nothing's really changed, guys. But why would I be so arrogant to believe that you can't read this yourself? Eh? Now I'll go and point out where it is, but I'm not going to tell you that you've got more chance of winning, the Euro millions, because it doesn't work that way. And you yourself have got to. I mean, okay, there are kids out there. I get that, but if you, most of us are old enough and ugly enough to make our own decisions. And if for the children out there, I've got a kid. He's 11. He plays Fortnite all the time, and I haven't given him a credit card, and he has no access to money to spend on the game. And if he wants to buy something, he has to come to me or his mother and ask us to buy it for him. It's very rare that we do. And people have to take responsibility. If your child is playing the game, how is your child getting the money to do this? And if your child is going out and spending $500, $100, $200 on gift cards, then ask yourself the question: how did they get the $100? Anyway, it's swings and roundabouts. Life has changed. I'm more for, I'm an old fart, so I'm traditional. Mad work up there. Wow. You just need to chill out, mate. You've been working mad the whole summer. Can't even drive. I could never drive them to begin with, Agile Hippo, so you've got one over on me, man. Yeah, they are a bit mismatched, said Geordie. Well, Ultimate Bait China doesn't have the same platform. It's not the same, okay? So in China, it's not the same. It's not run by Wargaming. It's run by a completely different company, and they're not allowed to do containers full stop. So that's that. Oof, that is pretty bad, man. Yeah. So Ibrahim, if that's the case, never watch. Don't watch it anyway. What was it? What is it? The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, what's it like that? The Last Star Wars. Because when they get to the Emperor bit at the beginning, it's like 5 minutes of flashing lights. That gives everybody a seizure. Not only those who suffer from epilepsy, my friend. But anyway, you should watch that film anyway. Full stop, because it's dreadful. Well, that's one of the things, Emmy. I mean, this is one of the things that I'm trying to do with my little channel is get people back to a happy place whereby, playing the game is going to test your sanity. It's going to give you a whole range of emotions. But sometimes when you just get to that point whereby, you're happy in yourself, then what other people do and say no longer factors in. And that's what I'm trying to get to. So, how important is it to get into an active clan for the upcoming event? Probably very important, to be fair. Without an active clan, it's going to be very difficult to get that clan stuff. It's not up here yet, but it's going to be difficult to get it without being in an active clan. I mean, when we were doing the I'm going to go soon as well, Ibrahim. When we were doing the Ace Challenge, we had to roll out, and we literally kicked everybody at the arse in the clan and said roll out and play your best. So we had everybody rolling out, seriously, doing crazy amount of games every day. And that was just for that Ace Challenge thing. So this is a 50 TP up for grabs. So I can imagine it's going to be requiring a very active clan, to be honest. So that's the thing. Once I get more information about that, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's going to require a very active clan to do it any justice, to be fair. Oh, this is why I love the summer. It's very quiet during the summer, don't you think? I will need to find out. Yeah, you too, Agile Hippo. You have a good weekend. Hopefully I will see you soon. Don't be a stranger, Agile Hippo. Always drop by and say hello. Have a chit chat. Thanks for popping in, big man. Yeah, I've got to go soon as well. I've got to. I've got people to feed also, little people. There's a little bit of that in the Emil, but it's not that straightforward. Flammy, I'll have to have a look at Flammy now, Ultimate Bay. I mean, I was looking. I know obviously Jingles. I know his site, so I'll check out this Flammy now. Anyway, like I said, it's nice and quiet. Plus, it was only ever going to be a short stream today anyway, because I'm streaming again in like 3 hours for the Mad Games tournament. Hence the reason. There's two reasons why there's a green screen behind me. One, because I've changed my living arrangements. There's no curtains behind me, and unlike my last place where the windows were there, and I sort of, my computer was on this wall and the windows were side on, and behind me was just a wall. Now behind me is just a huge window and the desert, and you can't see anything. That's why I've had to go later with my coffee chats. It's also why there's a green screen. But later on this evening I'm also streaming, so I also need the green screen as well for that. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to leave it there. By all means, catch me later for the Mad Games tournament. Last night was a bit of a disaster. The team I was following didn't turn up, so that didn't last very long. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a pain to do that. I mean, I think the event is going to sort of screw up quite a few things, because a lot of my clan will be getting ready for the tournaments, to be fair. So, anyway, guys, with that, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, wherever you are and whatever time zone you happen to be in. It's always been, I'm going to use that tonight, excess. That's why I've not been playing replays, because I need them for tonight's stream, basically. Because I can't really subject people to me playing Mad Games on my PC again. It's just awful. Although I did win 60% of the games. Not because of anything I did. I was terrible. But yeah, guys, thank you for popping in. It's always a pleasure that you take up your time on a Saturday to come in and sort of say hello to a nab like me. And until then, guys, like I said, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. As always, it's been a pleasure. And hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Until then, have a good one. Bye for now.